Hi, Kate Archik here. I'm happy to have you join us today. We're going to talk about Currence, which is a system that we're using currently with our clients who are maybe on the younger side, just starting off and are looking to learn to build better financial habits, want to make sure that their financial future is protected, and really just learn how to save better and put it on autopilot. So for that, we use a system called Currents. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. So lifestyle creep is the first thing that we're going to talk about, and it's going to, keep you broke or kill your chances of achieving financial freedom. This is also known as lifestyle inflation, or some people even call it the hamster wheel, right? And it's a problem that affects just about everybody in the world because the root of the problem is embedded in our DNA. The more you make, the more you spend, right? So it's a classic scenario. Let's say that you've been working at your first job for a while and you get your first raise. All right. So you get a raise, you have more money, right? You decide to move into a nicer apartment, get a nicer car, you spend more money. And all this time you're wondering to yourself, why don't I ever have money left at the end of the month? I'm not saving anything. So you work harder. You maybe even take on a side hustle or start only to start the cycle anew. I'm sure we can all relate to lifestyle creep in one way or another. So let's take a closer look at how lifestyle creep takes root for so many of us. What I'm about to show you is called the cash flow food chain. It's the default pattern or structure of spending, which first leads to unconscious consumption, and your financial freedom is at the bottom of the cash flow food chain after the outside world has taken its control, right? So you see here, you get your paycheck, it goes into your checking account. Then you pay your housing costs, your groceries, your car payments, insurances, financial products, Netflix and Amazon, dining, travel, and so on. In layman's terms, the more you make, the more you spend, and you're not prioritizing your future. As my father in law always said, you need to pay yourself first. So we're going to learn how to do that using Currents. So this is the default pattern, right? So you earn money, it goes to your expenses, you spend it, and what's left goes into savings if there's anything left. What we're looking for is financial freedom. This chart here is just going to show you that as your income goes up, typically your expenses go up. And what Currents is trying to do is to keep your expenses down as your income goes up. We're going to talk about the stats here. The truth is that people of all income brackets are spending more on things that they don't need. Movements have been popping up like minimalism, frugal living, the tiny house movement, movements that employ budgeting, personal finance, essentialism, spending less, making more, saving money, investing, and much more. And people are starting to become aware of the trap that we've gotten ourselves into. While that's true, that lifestyle creep is a major reason why 64% of US consumers live paycheck to paycheck. The fact is, it can affect anyone, even the rich and the famous. And this is lifestyle inflation, and it happens to everyone. And that's the first thing you need to realize is that it's not just you. Instant gratification is hardwired into the DNA of every human being, even the smartest and most successful ones. In fact, 40% of those making in excess of 100,000 a year live paycheck to paycheck. Lifestyle creep is also the reason why 80% of former NFL players go bankrupt just 2 years after retiring. The median savings account balance for Americans is 5,300. That's it, 5,300. I mean, that's as much as I spend on a new fridge and oven. Right? So if you got two of those things go in your house, you're broke. That's why we're using Currents with our clients. We recognize the need for a system that makes saving easier. Even for those Currents clients who felt like they had budgeting and saving under control, what they told us is that they liked that with Currents, they could set it and forget it. and that the time and emotional energy they were putting into budgeting and savings, they could now put into other things. The psychology. Research shows that our spending habits are affected by our values, emotions, and desires. Instant gratification is wired into all of us, and it doesn't help that we are constantly bombarded by different excuses for spending money. In our modern consumer society, it's easier than ever to find things to spend our hard earned money on. Unconscious consumption is driven by instant gratification, which is embedded in our DNA. It's a natural instinct. It's why we spend so much time on our phone. Delayed gratification is something that must be forged. It's not easy and it takes work. Things like healthy eating, working out, education, finance, they all require it. Hard to do usually requires a conscious effort. It's very difficult to overcome because it involves understanding your emotional relationship with money. The issues in the digital sphere, right? Unconscious consumption. It's all around us. In our always online, smartphone obsessed culture, we're constantly bombarded with consumerism. Experts estimate that we're exposed to 4 to 10,000 highly targeted ads every single day. These ads are trying to sell us products with a promise that they will make us happier. Social media and all the data these companies have on us is itself designed to take advantage of lifestyle creep. We know that lifestyle creep affects all of us, that it's hardwired into our DNA and therefore hard to overcome. And that in today's digital world, we're constantly bombarded with advertisers who know how to push our buttons and to get us to spend money. So we should just buckle up and enjoy the ride, spending our retirement savings along the way, right? Now, there's a better way. Okay, that's where Currence comes in. A foolproof solution to lifestyle creep. Unlike advertising companies, we design Currence with your best interest in mind. Leveraging the latest in behavioral finance research, motivational psychology, and design research, we created a flow to help take control of your financial destiny and to do away with lifestyle creep for good. All right. Right here is the app you can see a picture of. So we're going to go back to the cash flow food chain that we talked about before, how things typically run. The money that you earned goes to your expenses, and then whatever is left goes into your savings. What we do is we flip that cash flow food chain so that the savings comes first. We change the direction of the cash flow, and with this one simple shift in the direction of cash flow, you allow your financial freedom to be at the top of the food chain, right? So you move financial freedom all the way up there to the top, right underneath your paycheck. So we talked about what traditionally happens. Income comes in. Over the years, it rises. Expenses go out. And over the income, those rise as well. How Currence works is we are using the new flow in order to help you take control of your financial destiny and to do away with lifestyle creep for good. Once you join Currence, your Currence strategist will set up a reservoir. Starts with $0, right? And you're going to create new savings in that reservoir. That's where you're going to accumulate your cash flow to build new passive income streams. The idea is that as your income goes up, your expenses stay flat. All right, you're gonna participate in conscious consumption, and you're not even gonna really need to think about it. Once you've accumulated enough reserves, your current strategist will make recommendations about income diversification options specifically for you. You don't need to follow every recommendation, but once we start building these income streams, you can pat yourself on the back because creating new passive income streams is the first step towards financial independence, as I'm sure you've heard. We're going to keep that consumption conscious. All right. So now, even when your expenses kind of start to creep up, you've added all of these income streams based on paying yourself first and then reinvesting that money. And this allows you to build your passive income. The more income streams you add, the faster you can decrease your reliance on your paycheck. As your passive income streams start to match your living expenses, you're nearing a milestone that few people achieve in life. You have eliminated the need to fund your living expenses by working. That's the goal. You're going to free up your cash flow. Currence really puts you in control of your choices. By paying yourself first, creating this reservoir, you are really teaching yourself good financial habits. And by paying yourself first, creating this reservoir, you're really teaching yourself good financial habits. It's the way of the future. I really believe in this strategy, and I think that you will too if you allow me to show you how this might work for you. Give us a call. I can be reached at 732-302-1810, or you can email me at Caitlin, Katelyn, at professionalplanningservices.com. I hope to hear from you soon, and we will talk then. Bye-bye.